Hello friends, in this tutorial we're gonna see the simple Spring Boot application, and we will be building some Rest APIs, and we will be storing and retrieving our data from the MongoDB, which is a new SQL database. I'm curious coder aspiring to code, and welcome all. So there are some prerequisites for this tutorial. First thing is we need a code editor. So in this tutorial I'll be using Eclipse. You can use STS or any other code editor as well. And let me just go to the Eclipse. I'm just opening Eclipse. So this is the simple workspace, which by default workspace which Eclipse has given. Just launching, and while it launches, we need to, since we will be storing and retrieving our data in the MongoDB, so we need to install MongoDB server. So for that you need to just download it. Go to this link which I've given here, and in this, from the MongoDB enterprise server section, download 4.4.1 version, and you can download it as package, the zip version, and then you can download it, and you can unzip it, and you can go to the file explorer where that file was installed, program files, and MongoDB server 4.4 bin. And remember guys, you need to start this Mongod.exe. So this is something you started the MongoDB server, and if you see the message here, this is waiting for connection from the port 27017. So this is the default MongoDB port. So now let's get back to the prerequisites. Now we have started the MongoDB server, and next thing is MongoDB Compass. This is just an optional thing where if you wanted to see the data what is stored in the MongoDB or any collection, so this will be very helpful. So that you can download from this link given here, where the docs mongodb.com Compass. So this is something which I've already installed. So this is how it will be when you can go here and you can see all the sample databases which I've created, and underneath that you will have collections. Underneath that you will have the data which I've created earlier, the sample data. So now this is how you can install the MongoDB Compass, and this is how you can view the data. So please make sure that you have added the shortcut, the desktop shortcut for the MongoDB Compass or MongoDB the exe shortcuts. The next step is to install the Postman. This is also, I can say it is an optional, but through Postman, as you all know, you can access the REST APIs, the get or post. So you can post some information and that will get saved in the MongoDB. So this is where you can download the Postman, the postman.com, and downloads. So in my case, I have already downloaded. This is the Postman which I've installed already. Now you can see the Postman. Right now, if you see here, earlier I worked on a couple of projects where I kind of created some request. Okay, now let me dismiss this. I don't need to update it now. And you can, that is the Postman. And the final step here is to get our work started, starting the Spring Initializer. So now let me just go to this step, go to this link. Where is my Chrome? Spring Initializer. And so this is the advantage here is you can initialize this project from the start Spring IO, where I'll be creating a Maven project, and the language is Java. By default, I'm leaving it as the Spring Boot 2.6.2 version. And I'll give some example, like, okay, right now I'm going to create uh, the car project. Let's say uh, my demo, I can give artifact as the car. That's it. And so the another advantage here on the Spring Initializer is you can add dependencies. Generally, in the pom.xml file, you will be adding the dependencies manually, the web dependencies or MongoDB dependencies. But here in this case, what you can do is you can just search all those dependencies, the Spring Web. Now the dependency got added. Another dependency is MongoDB, the Spring Data MongoDB, which is a NoSQL dependency. That's it. We're all set. I'll be defaulting it to Java 11 version and packaging is jar. So clicking the generate. That's it. Now let me go to this particular file and let me just unzip it. Here itself, extract all, extracted. That's it. Now what I'll do, I'll go to my Eclipse and I'll import this project. So go to file and import existing Maven project. You remember I selected Maven in the Spring Initializer and click on next. So now go to the root directory where the files were downloaded, the car, and select. That's it, finish. Now if you see, let me just delete all these things that are not required. These are some existing work which I've done. And now let's see our Spring the Spring Boot project, the default project which is created for car. Now I'll go here, source main.java, my demo.car. So there is a default class that got created called car application. In this, if you see, if I can run this by default. Just click on this car application, right click, run as Java application. Now you can see the details in the console here. Okay, now it says the Java application is started. Okay, you can access this from the 8080 port, right? So that's it, guys. The application has started. Now it's time to build next set of classes here. So for that, what I'll do, just remember this, I am gonna keep it as very simple, where I'll have only few REST APIs created. I'll be creating the next model class and the I'll be creating the repository, and so finally I'll be building the REST APIs here. Okay, that's it. So now let me go to let me click on this new and add new package called my demo.car.model. And next thing what I'll be creating is I'll create my demo, the package dot interface. Okay, just a second. Next thing what I'll do is I'll create one controller package dot controller. So in this, what I'll do, let me go to the first model and model package. I'll be creating a class. I'll just create it as a car class. That's it. So finish. In this car class, what I'll do, I'll have a few parameters. Let's say private string dot car ID, private string dot name of the car, private string dot color of the car, private string brand. So here spelling mistake, right here also. Now what I'll do, so let me add a default constructor car. So constructors are useful to initialize the variables. So there are two types of constructors. One is default constructor and another one is parameterized constructor. Okay, let me build both of them here. Let me just string car id, string name, string color, string brand. Let me just add all of them. Now what I'll do, this dot car id is equal to car id. I'll just initialize all of these. No, this is getting printed as card id. Let me just remove this car id. I want here also car id, and next thing is this dot name is equal to name, this dot color is equal to color, this dot brand is equal to brand. Now we have built the constructors. Now let's go to the next step and build getters and setters. It's very simple. You don't need to type everything. Just right click on source and click on generate getters and setters. Now select all. You can select one by one, you can deselect all, or you can select all, or you can just select getters only or select setters only. Now I'm just selecting all and clicking on generate. Now one more thing what I'm going to do is I'll be creating the toString method. So for that you don't need to write again anything. Go to source and generate toString. So that's it. Now what happens is that here this is the car model, and that is created. So we have this default, we have these parameters, and we have generated getters and setters and toString method. Okay, so far are you good with me? Now what you can do is you can annotate this as a document, and you can give some collection name. Okay, so collection is equal to, we have to use this single quotes. So I can just say that the collection name is itself is car. That's it. Now one more thing what you have to do here is, now you see some error, right? So what you have to do is you need to import this document. You need to import this. Okay, for that you can just click on Control Shift O, and that will get downloaded. Yeah, so you have to be giving this in the double quotes. That's why we are seeing this error. So now the error is cleared. And one more thing is I can just give this as I can just annotate this as ID, so which is like indexing again. Like, yeah, you can see the same error. So where you can import this from the Spring annotations. Now guys, that's it. The car model is done. Now let us go to the next section, which is the interface. So for that we have already created the interface package. Go to that and then click on this interface. So you can just say that car interface. Okay, finish. Now this car interface should extend Mongo repository, and you can just say car and string. Now we can see another thing is you need to import this, and there is one more error as well. Now let's understand what is this error, why this error is. What you have to do is since this is a repository, again you need to annotate that repository. That's it. Control Shift O. So it's done. Now everything, all errors are cleared. So guys, now we have created our model and we have created the model and we have created the interface. Now what we're going to do is we're going to be creating a controller here, and so for that just click on class. You can just say that car controller. So one thing which the mistake which I have done here is see the interface names and all, like you have to give it with the caps letter, right? I think this is fine. Now what you can do is you can just annotate this as rest controller, Control Shift O, that you have downloaded that. And one more thing what you have to do here is you need to just say that like what is the request mapping. Let's say for example, I'll just show you what is that request mapping. Request mapping, and for that you can in the double quotes, everything you need to give it in the double quotes when you are annotating it. I can just say API. Now Control Shift O, that error will be gone. So now what we have to do here is we have already created the interface. The interface is like car interface. Now let me just instantiate interface is equal to car interface. I can just select car interface. It's fine. What you have to do is now you need to be again like importing this particular car interface package into this. So now this is done. Okay, now let me just create two simple REST APIs. One is like getting all the car details, and another one is posting some information. So for that, public list of cars, and you can just give any method name, get all cars. In this you have to say request mapping. Okay, so in the request mapping this is not request mapping, this is request param. Okay, request parameter that will say is like, is it required is equal to, it's not required, you can just say it as false, and string name. Now since it's a method, Control Shift O will resolve this. And so once this method is created, you need to have some kind of return type for this. So for that you need to return, you can just use this car interface itself, car interface, and find all. So the something is pre-populating, you can see, close with the semicolon. Now the interface, now the simple REST API to get all the cars is done. And one thing which is important here is the dependency injection. For that, like we need to add the auto void for this interface. Control Shift again O, so that will get over. Now, friends, you can just go to this application properties, and you just give this information. Okay, that means what I'm just trying to do here is I'm creating I'm asking the Spring Boot to create a database called mycar. Okay, that's it. Now what we can do, so let me just go here. Something is already running, and let me just start the car application. Now let's see the results in the console. Okay, the car application is started on the port 8080. So now what is our REST API, friends? Go here and this one. So what I'll do, I'll open Chrome. Okay, local host 8080/API/. So what we are requesting here, we are requesting, what is the required parameters here? Oh, one thing we are missing here. We need to again just map the request mapping. So in this you can just say car, but let's see without that whether that will work or not. I'm just giving car here. Now you see, you can see this white label error, so that means we are missing something here. So that is what is this. So we did not give this request mapping. Now go here and stop the server, and again start the car application. Just monitor the console. Now you see the application is started. Now again go back to this car and then like hit enter. Oh, again, now why this white label error? So let us just understand this. When we look at this, the problem was, when you click on this, right, the white label error was because of this. In the request mapping we have given APCI, but here we are mentioning as API. So let me just go ahead and remove this C here, save, go to console, stop this, and again like start the car application. Now the car application would get started, and I'm sure now this will work. Okay, just hit on enter in the browser. Now you see this is working, and you know, the when you click on this inspect elements as well, you can see in the network tab where when you are restarting this, so there is a call going actually in the header. So this is the call that is going, and you are getting the status code as 200, which means it is successful. Now we have done the get all cars API. Now let's go back to our Eclipse. Okay, start the server. Anyhow, we're gonna start, and let's do one more thing. Let's do one more REST API, which is post mapping. Public, and what we can see is public car. We'll create a create car method, and in this the request body, the request body is obviously the car, and we can say the wait 1 second. request body is car, and we can say that the car. And let me just open this, and we have to say return, and we have to use this car interface dot, we have to say save. What we have to save? We have to say the we have to save this car, like whatever this car we are giving here, right? And that's it. Now it is done. So in the request body, it says some error here. Let's understand what is this. Like maybe the request body annotation, Control Shift O. Okay, it did not gone. So we have to say like car interface. Okay. Restaurant model. 1 second. What is the error here? Yeah, one thing that we are missing here again is the request mapping. So now let's see. Request mapping, and double quotes, you can give it as car. Now did that resolve their issue? So car interface. Okay, right. This is I think something is auto type. This is request body. Okay, and Control Shift O, that's resolved. Okay, just a second. Thing is, what we have to do is we should not keep the dot and all, return, and we have to say this one, current face that save, and what is the entity? The cars entity. Semicolon. Now that's it, the error is gone. So now guys, let's use again, let's we have already stopped this server. Let's start the car application, and let's see in the console. Okay, so now there is one issue here, the car. Let us just understand what is this issue. So if I just make the controller, okay, the application is started to fail. Yeah, these are the some things that we need to understand and take care. Now I have understood after seeing this error. Okay, what? Okay, this is something which this is the post method. So I wrongly mapped it as request mapping. Now post mapping, Control Shift O, it's done. Let's go back to this console. Now let's start the car application again. Now let's see if this goes successful. I think it should be successful. Okay, the the application is started now. Now guys, let's do one thing. Let's go to the Postman, and let's use these APIs. Okay, now let's initially put some information in this. Okay, localhost, the same API we are using, car, and the body. What we can do, we can give some information. What I'll do, I'll copy that information also from the car.java model. So the car ID and all those things. So this is a JSON. We have to give everything in the double quotes. Car ID. I'm just giving it as 6. Name is, let's say, Maruti Suzuki. Color is equal to, let's say, white, and one more thing is brand is equal to. So now the car is Swift, assume that. Okay, now the brand is Maruti Suzuki. Swift. So now let's give everything in the double quotes. So that's what the JSON. This is how the JSON structure will be. Color and brand. Okay. Now let's see something more. This Suzuki. Okay, friends. Right now, think we should give as commas here, but let's anyhow post it. See, it did not take. Let's give everything as comma. Now let's post it again. Now what's happening? Let me just check this. The thing here is you have to have it as a JSON, right? So it should not be is equal to, and it should be like this. And initially the raw format was a text by default format. We need to change it to JSON. Now let me just copy this, send this. Oh, again there is a problem. Let's understand what is the problem. Now let's go back to the Postman. In this I'm thinking, let's go to the MongoDB compass. Let's see if that my car is created or not. Okay, I'm opening this, and will take a second. You see, right? The my car has not created. Let's create my car here. Let's see. My car collection name is car. Create database, and now let's go to the Postman and send the details. Okay, again there is some problem. Let's understand what is that problem is. I resolved that error actually. If you look at here in the API here, what I mentioned is API/cars, but when we go to this method, okay, the get all cars, sorry, the create car method, right, it says like /car only. So now what I have done here is I have updated that as cars. Now let me take one more information. Let me just change car ID is 60. Now I can just say car name Baleno, and black. Okay, BLECK black. Now let me post this. Now this is also getting posted. Now take this and go back to our browser. Click on this. Now you see the data is coming up here. So now that's it, guys. To just summarize what I've done here is just there are a couple of prerequisites here to have this simple Spring Boot application by using Rest APIs and MongoDB. So I think it must be easy for you to have all these prerequisites, and then like this is our project structure. So we have four packages for Spring Boot application. Model is something which the data which stores in the DB, and controller and repository. By default, what happens is the request, the web request, whatever that you get, will go to the controller. Okay, so that's it. I hope this is clear for you guys, and thank you very much.